Chosen ones, this is your time. A moment so transformative, so life-changing, is drawing near, and it has been ordained by God Himself. Everything you've endured, the challenges, the heartbreaks, the victories, and even the unanswered questions, has been preparing you for this. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Every step, every prayer, and every moment of faith has been leading to this divine encounter. This is not a coincidence. You are not here by chance. Your presence in this moment is a testament to God's intricate and purposeful design. Before you were born, He knew the path you would walk. Before you faced your first trial, He had already mapped out your triumphs. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds us of this truth, "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is the divine moment, the time when all that has been promised begins to unfold. The prayers you have whispered in the stillness, the tears you have shed in the silence, and the faith you have held onto in the face of adversity are converging into a new season. God has been working behind the scenes, aligning the details, and opening doors that no man can shut. But this is not just about the blessings you will receive, it is about the transformation that is about to take place within you. This moment is not simply an external change, it is a spiritual awakening, a call to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. Ephesians 2 verse 10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Every challenge you faced has been part of the preparation. The struggles that seemed insurmountable were not meant to break you but to strengthen you. The delays and detours were not setbacks but opportunities for growth. God has been refining you, shaping you into a vessel capable of carrying His purpose. Think of Joseph, who was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned. For years, it seemed as though his dreams were shattered. But each trial was a step in God's greater plan. When the time was right, Joseph was elevated to a position of power, fulfilling the purpose God had revealed to him in his youth. Genesis 50 verse 20 captures his perspective, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Just as Joseph's journey prepared him for his divine moment, so too has your journey been preparing you. The pain, the waiting, and the unanswered prayers have been molding you into the person God needs you to be for this next chapter. Your faithfulness in the small things has not gone unnoticed. Luke 16 verse 10 affirms, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Now, the doors are beginning to open. Opportunities that seemed out of reach are drawing closer. Connections you never anticipated are being established. God is orchestrating a shift that will position you exactly where you need to be. But this is not a passive moment, it requires your readiness and your willingness to act. Are you prepared to step into this new season? Are you ready to embrace the change that is coming? This is not the time to hold back or to let fear keep you in your comfort zone. This is the time to trust fully in God's plan and to move forward with boldness and faith. Isaiah 43 verse 19 declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This new thing will require you to let go of the old. You cannot step into the fullness of what God has for you while clinging to what is no longer serving your purpose. Some relationships, habits, and mindsets must be left behind. This process may be painful, but it is necessary. Just as a seed must break open to grow, so too must you release what is holding you back to step into your new season. In this moment, God is asking for your trust. He is asking you to believe that He is in control, even when the path ahead is unclear. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 encourages, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Your faith in this moment will determine your ability to move forward. Faith is not the absence of doubt but the choice to believe in God's promises despite it. Hebrews 11 verse 1 defines faith as confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This confidence will sustain you as you step into the unknown, trusting that God's plans are greater than your fears. The divine moment is not just about what God is doing for you but what He is doing through you. This encounter is a call to action, a commissioning to step into your role as a light in the world. Matthew 5 verse 14 reminds us, "You are the light of the world." A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Your transformation is not just for your benefit but for the benefit of those around you. This is your time to rise, to shine, and to embrace the calling God has placed on your life. The waiting is over. The moment has come. Share this truth, declare it with boldness, and let the world see the power of God at work in you. Comment, "I am ready to act in God's will," as a proclamation of your readiness to step into this divine encounter and to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. The journey of the chosen is not about material gain or worldly achievements. It is a spiritual awakening, a profound alignment with the divine plan that God ordained for you before you were even born. This is not a moment of coincidence or happenstance, it is a deliberate and purposeful call to step into the fullness of your destiny. Before the foundation of the world, God knew you. He knew your strengths, your struggles, and your potential. Ephesians 1 verse 4 tells us, "For He chose us in Him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in His sight." Your existence is not an accident, and neither is your journey. Every step, every challenge, and every triumph has been a part of His divine design, preparing you for this very moment. This awakening is not about the external but the internal. It is a call to see yourself as God sees you, not as the world defines you, not as your circumstances suggest, but as a child of the Most High, created with purpose and equipped with power. Psalm 139 verses 13 to 14 declares, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Yet, this awakening does not come without resistance. The trials and difficulties you have faced were not meant to destroy you but to refine you. Like gold in the fire, you have been tested so that your faith and character could emerge stronger. James 1 verses 2 to 4 encourages, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Each obstacle was a lesson. Each setback an opportunity for growth. The pain you endured was not in vain, it was shaping you, preparing you, and aligning you with God's plan. The moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty were all part of the process, teaching you to lean on Him and trust His timing. This spiritual awakening is not a single event but a journey. It is a continuous process of becoming, of shedding old habits, releasing limiting beliefs, and stepping into a deeper understanding of who God is and who you are in Him. Romans 12 verse 2 calls us to this transformation. "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." The chosen are not called to blend in but to stand out. Your awakening is a call to rise above the noise of the world, to live according to a higher standard, and to walk boldly in your divine purpose. This is not always easy. The world will try to pull you back, to distract you with its demands and expectations. But you must remember that you are not of this world. John 17 verse 16 reminds us, "They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. This spiritual awakening is also a call to clarity. As God awakens your spirit, He will reveal His plans for you with greater precision. The dreams and desires He placed in your heart will begin to align with His purpose. You will find yourself drawn to opportunities, people, and experiences that resonate with His calling on your life. Proverbs 19 verse 21 assures us, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." In this awakening, you will begin to see the trials of your past in a new light. What once seemed like setbacks will be revealed as stepping stones. What once felt like delays will be understood as divine timing. The disappointments, failures, and heartbreaks were not the end of your story but the foundation for something greater. Consider the story of Moses. Raised in Pharaoh's palace, exiled to the wilderness, and called back to deliver his people, Moses' journey was filled with challenges and uncertainties. Yet, every step was part of God's plan. His time in the wilderness prepared him to lead the Israelites through the desert. His encounter with the burning bush was a moment of awakening, a call to step into his divine purpose. Exodus 3 verse 10 records God's words to Moses, "So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt." Like Moses, your awakening is a call to action. It is a realization that your life is not your own but a vessel for God's glory. This is not a burden but an honor, an invitation to partner with the Creator of the universe in His work on earth. This awakening also comes with responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required. Luke 12 verse 48 reminds us, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." As you awaken to your purpose, you must also be willing to step into the responsibility it entails. This responsibility is not about perfection but about willingness. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Your imperfections, insecurities, and doubts do not disqualify you, they make you a testament to God's power and grace. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9 proclaims, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." As you continue on this journey, you will find that your awakening is not just for you but for those around you. Your transformation will inspire others to seek their own. Your courage to step into your calling will give them the courage to do the same. Your light will shine in the darkness, pointing others to the one who called you. In this spiritual awakening, you are being invited into a deeper relationship with God. This is not about religion but about connection, a daily walk with the one who knows you best and loves you most. It is an opportunity to discover the fullness of His love, the depth of His wisdom, and the power of His presence in your life. This awakening is not the end but the beginning. It is the starting point of a new chapter, a new season, and a new level of faith. It is an invitation to step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8 assures us, "The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. This is your moment. Embrace it fully, walk in faith, and trust that the one who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. Your awakening is here, and it is time to step boldly into the purpose for which you were created. For the chosen, stepping into a new season requires more than readiness, it demands release. Letting go is an essential part of transformation. To fully embrace the new that God has prepared, you must leave behind what no longer serves His divine purpose for your life. This process is not always easy, but it is necessary for growth, freedom, and alignment with His will. Letting go begins with recognizing what is holding you back. It could be relationships that drain your energy, habits that hinder your progress, or beliefs that limit your understanding of who God created you to be. These things may have served a purpose in the past, but they cannot go with you into the future God has planned. Consider the story of Abram, later renamed Abraham. In Genesis 12 verse 1, God called him to leave everything familiar. The Lord had said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you." This was not a small request. Abram was asked to leave his home, his community, and his sense of security to follow God into the unknown. Yet, his willingness to let go opened the door to blessings beyond his imagination. The same is true for you. Letting go is not about loss, it is about making space for God's promises. It is about releasing what is good to receive what is greater. But this process requires trust, trust in God's plan, trust in His timing, and trust in His ability to provide. Letting go of relationships can be particularly difficult. The chosen are often called to release connections that no longer align with their purpose. These may be relationships that are toxic, draining, or rooted in a past version of who you were, rather than who you are becoming. While this can be painful, it is an act of faith, trusting that God will bring the right people into your life at the right time. Proverbs 13 verse 20 reminds us, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." The people you surround yourself with influence your journey. To walk in alignment with God's plan, you must choose relationships that encourage, uplift, and support your calling. This may mean letting go of those who cannot journey with you into this new season. Letting go also involves releasing habits and routines that are no longer beneficial. These could be patterns of procrastination, fear, or self-doubt that keep you stuck. Hebrews 12 verse 1 encourages, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Letting go of these habits allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose. Perhaps most challenging of all is letting go of old beliefs. The chosen are often called to release mindsets that limit their understanding of God's power and their own potential. These could be beliefs about what is possible, about your worthiness, or even about how God works. Romans 12 verse 2 calls us to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This renewal requires letting go of what no longer serves your spiritual growth. Letting go is not a passive act. It is an active choice. It is deciding to release control and surrender to God's plan, even when it is uncomfortable or uncertain. This process can feel like a loss, but it is a necessary step toward freedom. When you let go, you make room for God to work in ways you could never imagine. Jesus spoke of this principle in John 15 verse 2, saying, "He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit He prunes so that it will be even more fruitful." Pruning is a painful process, but it is essential for growth. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you allow God to cultivate the fruit He intends to produce in your life. The pain of letting go is often rooted in fear, fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, or fear of being alone. But God calls the chosen to walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 reminds us, "For we live by faith, not by sight." Trusting in God's plan means believing that what He has in store is far greater than anything you leave behind. Letting go also brings freedom. When you release what is holding you back, you are no longer weighed down by the burdens of the past. You are free to step into the new with open hands and an open heart. This freedom allows you to experience the fullness of God's blessings and to move forward without the chains of fear, doubt, or regret. Consider the Israelites as they prepared to leave Egypt. They were called to let go of their lives in bondage, to step into the unknown and trust God's promise of a new land. Exodus 14 verses 13 to 14 captures Moses' encouragement to them, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." The Egyptians you see today you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. The journey was not easy, and there were moments when the Israelites longed to return to what was familiar, even though it was bondage. But by letting go and trusting God, they were able to move toward the freedom and abundance He had promised. As the chosen, you are being called to a similar journey. This is your time to release what no longer serves you, to trust God's plan, and to step boldly into the new season He has prepared. The process may be difficult, but the reward is worth it. Letting go is not about forgetting the past, but about honoring it as a stepping stone to your future. It is about recognizing that every experience, every relationship, and every challenge has shaped you into the person you are today. But it is also about understanding that you cannot move forward while holding on to what was. In Matthew 16 verses 24 to 25, Jesus calls His followers to a life of surrender. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. Letting go is an act of surrender, a declaration that you trust God's plan above your own. This is your moment to let go, to release what no longer aligns with your purpose, and to embrace the freedom that comes from trusting God. The new season is waiting, but it requires you to step forward with faith, courage, and an open heart. As you let go, remember that you are not alone. God is with you, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Isaiah 41 verse 10 offers this reassurance. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the first step toward a new season filled with possibilities, blessings, and divine purpose. Embrace this process, trust in God's plan, and know that He is leading you into a future far greater than anything you could imagine. Chosen ones, this is your invitation. It is not an invitation written on paper or spoken in a whisper. It is written on your heart, echoed in your spirit, and affirmed by every step of your journey. This is the moment when God calls you to rise, to step forward, and to embrace the mission He has prepared for you. Fear has no place here. Doubt has no claim on you. This is the time to let go of hesitation, to release the grip of uncertainty, and to walk boldly into the destiny God has laid before you. Isaiah 41 verse 13 declares, "For I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you." His hand is extended, steady and strong, ready to lead you into the extraordinary. This invitation is not about perfection but about willingness. God is not calling you because you have all the answers or because you are without flaws. He is calling you because He sees your heart, your potential, and your willingness to say yes. 1 Corinthians 1 verse 27 reminds us, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong." It is in your weakness that His strength is made perfect. The divine invitation is a call to trust. It is a call to believe in the unseen, to rely on God's promises, and to move forward even when the path is not clear. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 urges, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This trust is the foundation upon which your journey is built. Accepting this invitation requires commitment. It is not a half-hearted endeavor or a fleeting decision. It is a wholehearted yes to God's will, a surrender of your plans in exchange for His. Luke 9 verses 23 to 24 captures the depth of this commitment. "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it." This commitment leads to transformation. When you say yes to God's call, you open the door to a profound change, not just in your circumstances but in your very being. Romans 12 verse 2 promises, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." This transformation is not instant, but it is life-changing, aligning every part of you with His purpose. Your journey will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Challenges will come, but they will not overcome you. Doubts may arise, but they will not define you. God's call is not about avoiding difficulty but about equipping you to face it with faith and courage. John 16 verse 33 offers this reassurance, "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart. I have overcome the world." This invitation is also a call to impact. Your transformation is not just for your benefit but for the world around you. You are being called to be a light, a beacon of hope, and a vessel of God's love. Matthew 5 verse 16 encourages, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your obedience to this call will inspire others to seek their own transformation and to draw closer to God. The world is in desperate need of light bearers, those who will stand firm in faith, extend love in the face of hate, and offer hope in the midst of despair. As a chosen one, this is your mission. You have been equipped with gifts, talents, and experiences that uniquely position you to fulfill this role. Ephesians 2 verse 10 affirms, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." But this mission cannot be fulfilled without faith. Faith is the fuel that propels you forward, and the road is long, the strength that sustains you when the journey is hard, and the courage that emboldens you when the task seems impossible. Hebrews 11 verse 6 reminds us, "And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him." Faith transforms hesitation into action. It turns fear into courage and doubt into confidence. With faith, you can move mountains, walk on water, and step into the impossible. Matthew 17 verse 20 assures us, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move." Nothing will be impossible for you. This is your time to act. The divine invitation is not a distant call, it is here and now. God is calling you to step out of the shadows, to rise above the noise, and to embrace the mission He has placed on your life. This is not the time for hesitation or delay. This is the time for action, for boldness, and for faith. In accepting this invitation, you are not just stepping into a new chapter of your life, you are stepping into your identity as a chosen one. You are declaring that you trust God's plan, that you are willing to follow His lead, and that you are ready to fulfill His purpose. As you walk this path, know that you are not alone. God goes before you, beside you, and behind you. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8 offers this promise, "The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. This is your moment to rise, to shine, and to embrace the fullness of who you were created to be. The time has come to let go of fear, to trust in God's plan, and to step boldly into your destiny. Your life is not just about what you can achieve but about what God can do through you. By accepting this invitation, you are not only transforming your own life but also becoming a source of light and hope for the world. You are stepping into a mission that is greater than yourself, a purpose that will leave an eternal impact. This is the divine invitation. The question is not whether God is calling, you know He is. The question is whether you will answer. Say yes. Step forward. Embrace the journey. The time is now, and the world is waiting.